Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Bala Giri Vanadari Jaya Jaya Gopi Jana Bala Giri Vanadari Jaya Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Bala Giri Vanadari Jaya Gopi Jana Bala Giri Vanadari Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Banachari Jamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajakacharya Asatara Satasisi Mad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Sabakaya Chakshulan Militam Jaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Svaya Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapatandikam Vanchakopa Tirubhishcha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gauda Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So I've been given the opportunity to speak today. Of course, today, as we know, Disappearance Day of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis. He's sitting right there behind us, behind the curtain. I'm not qualified to speak any of the acharyas. Of course, Srila Prabhupada. I asked Krishna Kumar, is there a verse today? He said, well, today's acharyas. He said, so you can speak about Gopal Bhatta Goswami and then Srila Prabhupada. Well, what can we say about acharyas? Huh? We all know the meaning of acharya. So often we've heard acharya means one who teaches by example. He teaches by example. That means what we hear, what we see, we follow that example. Prabhupada, when he was here, he would make it so simple. He made Krishna consciousness seem like it was so easy. You all seen, I'm sure, the video in Australia. Somehow or other, our Madhvisa Prabhu in Australia, there's many videos of Srila Prabhupada in Australia. Prabhupada traveled to so many places. He was in the USA for so many years in USA. But there's as many videos of Srila Prabhupada in Australia as anywhere. They had some intelligence. Everything following the acharya. Every footstep. I always say, just watching Srila Prabhupada do that, you've all seen that photograph, Srila Prabhupada. You can become Krishna conscious just by seeing Prabhupada put his tilak on. That's acharya. Just seeing his footsteps. Also, I'm very grateful in Australia. It was a few years ago. Maybe I had seen it before. But to me, it seemed like the first time after almost 50 years, I saw Prabhupada taking prasadam in Australia, Melbourne. They say Melbourne, Australia. And Prabhupada, as he always did, he's sitting on the floor, just on straw mat, or sometimes it would just be a piece of carpet. And then the choki, the table would be against the wall. So Prabhupada, he would just sit on the floor, facing the wall, by himself, no talking, meditation, seva, taking prasadam, seva. This is what Acharya shows, what he teaches. Everything seva, 24 hours a day. Every move they make, every glance they take, every word they speak, seva. Always seeing Krishna. So that video, just a few minute video, Prabhupada sitting there in Melbourne. He has how many? Three silver thalis in front of him. Breakfast. We would try to give Prabhupada everything. Australia, they were very, very conscious to give Prabhupada everything. We know Kurma Prabhu, very famous cook. Jamuna, Kurma Prabhu, such famous cook. Prabhupada loved his prasadam. One day he's eating the halava. I made halava for Prabhupada. But who made this halava? Kurma Prabhu. Oh, first class halava. So Prabhupada's sitting there, just taking prasadam. Seva, meditation, Krishna prasadam. And I see this young boy come in, dressed in white, and he comes around the back of Srila Prabhupada over to the side, and he bends over. He must be asking Prabhupada a question or something. It was me. But just seeing that, doing that service to the spiritual master, I saw that I was attentive. This is what it means to be servant. We're all servant in that very same place. Srila Prabhupada, one day he was staying in Perth. I think Prabhupada went to Australia 6 times, maybe even 7 times, about that, 6, 7 times. To get to Australia from here was not easy. You know, you look at that map, yeah, that's all. Delhi, Australia. It's a 14-hour flight, non-stop 14-hour flight. And those of you that know, it's a long time to be sitting on an airplane. And Prabhupada wasn't in first class, reclining seats, like a bed, business class. No, he was in economy, coach. Once he went on first class, big seat. He said to Brahmananda, what is the use? So much money, first class ticket. He said, we don't eat anything they have. We don't drink anything we have. And Prabhupada had little body. He didn't need big seat. Just little. What is the use first class? I remember once being, again, it was Australia flight. Muddied visa flew. I was in first class. Well, I was very happy. Ladies coming, stewardesses, can I get you this? Can I get you this? Give me your coat. We're saying, ooh, you feel very inflated. I'm a very important person. Sitting here, everyone's serving me. This is the Maya in the material world, that idea. But not with the Acharyas. They don't interested in your service. For Krishna, they accept it. So just seeing that short video, and they have the audio Prabhupada chanting very nicely, but just seeing, taking care of the spiritual master, of our Acharya, I felt so happy, attentive. Sometimes people would ask me to serve Srila Prabhupada, what was it like? I said, you have to be attentive. This is what the Guru teaches you, to be attentive. And again, we're all personal servant. Don't think it's just 1 or 2 people. Like you see your Guru Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj, you see 1 person, 2, 3 people helping. He's giving them service. But everyone is in that position. You're all doing personal service. It's not just one or two people get that opportunity. Here you're all very, very fortunate. And I see the results of that good fortune. You know, my wife and I, we've been living in Vrindavan now for 4 years, pretty much constantly. We went back to USA to get a visa, came right back to Vrindavan. At this point in my life, I'm very content to be in Vrindavan. Everywhere I see Srila Prabhupada. I see our Acharya everywhere. No, I don't have special vision. He's there in the Samadhi. He's there in his house. He's there on the altar. He's there on the Vyasasan. Everyone, you go to Vrindavan, you cannot ignore Srila Prabhupada. His presence is very, very prominent there. So we go there. So for me, I feel very happy to be in that place, Vrindavan. But I can tell you, there's another place I like to come. It's this place. I had Maharaj, he invited me for lunch yesterday. I was so excited, so happy to sit with him and have lunch. And I couldn't stop talking while we're eating lunch, telling Prabhupada, talking about Prabhupada and prasadam. That's all I could do, and taking prasadam. But I was very happy because I see what he's done here. I see all you dancing so nicely before the deities, before Srila Prabhupada, chanting so nicely. I see everyone at the morning program, everyone doing their services enthusiastically. This is what the Acharya shows. This is the business of the Acharya. And if we take it up very seriously, you can make very nice advancement in Krishna consciousness. See, Maharaj, he's soldier for Srila Prabhupada. This is what we learned when Srila Prabhupada was here. You'll see Prabhupada's disciples here and there. You see the ones, all they know is service. All day, all night. We don't want anything. We just want to serve. Because in that service, there's your ecstasy. There's no happiness in this material world. You learn that again and again. Like I say, Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness, he says, is very easy. He said the practice, I forget the word I'm using, is difficult, That is difficult. That concentration. Krishna consciousness is a very easy process. You serve Krishna. You serve Guru. It's not difficult. In Australia, I was saying, he was staying in Perth. It was a devotee's parents' cottage, right near the ocean. Perth is on the west coast, like Los Angeles. In USA, Perth is like that, on the west coast. So we were staying in this nice cottage. And of course I would massage Prabhupada every day before his lunch. And then he would take lunch. And after lunch, Prabhupada would take nap. So after lunch, Prabhupada was in his room. Prabhupada only had a bell, hand bell, no electric buzzers, no WhatsApp. None of these things. We had a bell. So for the servant to hear the bell, you had to be 10 meters away. Your place, if there wasn't a room, you were outside his door. That was your place. Like the dog, sitting there on the floor, just waiting. If you're good servant, you're wagging your tail, waiting. When is he going to ring the bell so I can go in? So you're sitting right there. You hear the bell. You run in. You offer obeisances. See what he wants. But there was a pool there, swimming pool at this house. So us Americans, we're very fond of swimming pools, rivers, lakes, swimming, We all learn how to swim. Two things every American knows. They know how to swim, they know how to drive. Every American drives. 15 years old, you get your license. That's it. So, of course, I see the swimming pool. Prabhupada, after his massage, he would take bath in the swimming pool. He would go right in the pool, covered in mustard oil, and he would bathe right in the pool. The water was nice. Had to be a little warm, because also he had his heart. He had a few heart attacks, stroke. So he would always use warm water to bathe. So he was bathing in there. So then he had his lunch, and then he took rest. So Srutakirti thinks, I'll go in the swimming pool now. Prabhupada's resting. So I'm flapping around in the water, back and forth, swimming, doing laps. Prabhupada's in his room, is ringing the bell. I don't hear the bell. I'm somewhere else. I'm not thinking of my service. He's ringing the bell. So the boy, his parents owned the place, he was there. So he heard the bell ringing, ringing, ringing. Finally he goes in. And he goes in and says, oh, Prabhupada, your servant, he told on me. We say he told on me. He said, oh, Srutakirti, he's swimming in the pool. Your servant, he's swimming. He said, everyone is my servant. He saw the boy was giving little, poking at me, your servant. But Prabhupada turned it around. He said, you're all my servant. Not just Srutakirti's servant, your servant, your servant, your servant. This is us. That's our designation. I was initiated July 22nd, 1971. Pretty soon it'll be 52nd year from when I was initiated. No. No. I'm very fortunate to be here somehow or other, only by the mercy of the Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. This is how merciful the devotee is, the pure devotee. Nothing, whole body is compassion and mercy, nothing else. Always distributing mercy. So it was July 22nd. Every day in New York City, Brooklyn, New York, Henry Street Temple. It was like some of these, like 5-story building, very narrow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every day he was initiating 10 devotees for over a week. Now that seems like 10. That was a lot. Not 1,000 devotees, 5,000. No, 10 devotees. Prabhupada would sit, chant on the beads. And we made our japa beads. We didn't go to Loi Bazaar and go to the local Radha Kun, go to the beadwala. No, we went to the store, craft shop. We bought wooden beads, whatever they were. Prabhupada was good as Tulsi. There was no deficiency in anything. And we learned one of the first things I learned was how to string japa beads. I go to Radha Kun, I see them string. I say, I can do that. I know how to string beads, make them nice and tight. We strung our japa beads. We strung our neck beads. And they were so tight. I see photographs of me traveling with Prabhupada. My beads were so tight around my neck, I don't know how I breathed at that time. They were so tight. But this is what we did. We were dogs. Prabhupada's dogs. So my turn came up. And we had to learn everything. You offer obeisances with your left side, down, just like we see everyone. There's a system. We follow everything we do. We follow very strictly. This is coming through the acharyas. Left side down. So we had to memorize these things. And we knew he's going to ask, what are the 4 regulative principles? We are following them. But you're sitting before Srila Prabhupada. Your brain doesn't work. You can't think. It's a good thing we would breathe. Voluntarily, we didn't have to think about breathing, otherwise we would stop breathing before Srila Prabhupada. So I came, offered obeisances, and he looked at me. He said, so, what are the 4 regulative principles? And I have been repeating them in my head because I didn't want to make a mistake. And I didn't. I said them very quickly. No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. I'm just looking at you, and you're looking at him. This person not from here. We knew he wasn't from this world. So you're just looking. And then he said, sometimes he would say, chanting 16 rounds, but me, he turned it around. He said, how many rounds are you chanting? Ooh, I became very happy. So I'm chanting 20 rounds a day, Srila Prabhupada. He looked at me. He wasn't impressed. He wasn't impressed. As soon as a pride enters, finished. Your guru will smash you down. Maybe not immediately, might take a few hours, few days, maybe even a few years. But as soon as that pride enters, you think you're something other than servant, you'll get smashed. We've seen that over the last 50 years. We see it over and over again. And what do they say? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. This is pride. So I said 20 rounds. Then he said, your name, Srutakirti. And then he said, Srutakirti is the name of Krishna. Means one whose activities are world famous. And all the devotees went, ooh, Hare. And then Prabhupada looked at me, he said, and you're Srutakirti Das. We see that in the newspapers with the interviewer. They say, I spoke to Mr. Das. They always speak to the same person, Mr. Das, Miss Dasi. We all have the same last name, Das. This is what the Acharya is. This is the pure devotee. They know, simply I am servant. Not just servant, servant of the servant of the servant. 1,000 times removed. Just want to be a servant. So having lunch was so nice with Maharaj. He is expert servant. He's first class servant of Srila Prabhupada. I traveled with Srila Prabhupada from 1972. So Prabhupada was 74 at that time. I traveled with him in 1975, so by that time he was already 79, is that right? 96, 78, 79, just like Maharaj. You can't stop him. I said to Maharaj, you're going to stay here? Always going somewhere. Even you have to carry him, he's going to go and preach. I was with Prabhupada, it was 1973, and he had been in Mayapur, he had been in Vrindavan. Sometimes Prabhupada would apparently come down with these illnesses, very serious. And then he was in Calcutta. One evening, I was right outside the door, just a small room. I went to Maharaj's room yesterday. I'm thinking, oh, such a simple room. He said, yes, simple room. Deities of nice, beautiful. For Krishna, nice, beautiful deities he has, beautiful Shilas. But the quarters were very simple. So Prabhupada in Calcutta, most everywhere, just one little room, bed on one side, chowki down on the floor against the wall. Everywhere he went, he turned into Vrindavan. You see in Radha Damodar temple his quarters. That's all he wanted. Didn't care. No big sofas, chairs, dining room tables, nothing. So in Calcutta it was like that. One evening it's like 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, and I could hear Prabhupada. these sounds. So finally I went in. Prabhupada was lying in bed. He said, he had so much pain, he said, in his stomach. So I just started rubbing. What can you do? I just started massaging Prabhupada. There was so much pain was there. At one point he said, I think it was my sister, she made coconut kachori. He blamed it on coconut kachori, he said, cooked in mustard oil. It could have been anything, but he said like that. So I stayed there for some time, and then finally I went back outside the door. So for a few days, very ill. And so many devotees are there. Gargamuni, Ramananda, Bhavananda, Jayapataka, Tamal Krishna Maharaj, so many, all these devotees, because Prabhupada was there. So the next morning, Prabhupada, he would give darshan. In India, Prabhupada gave so many darshans to the devotees because they had no sense gratification. Not like in the West, everyone's very comfortable. Everything is always there. You have your air conditioning, you have your heat. Easy to get. Anything you want to buy, you can buy. 1970, not like that in India. Vrindavan, you couldn't buy anything. You got bananas. You know, whatever was locally available, that's what was available. So Prabhupada knew the devotees are being so much austerity they're practicing. So he gave himself. He understood the only thing I can give you is me. And that's all we wanted. So every day, morning and evening, the devotees would come in and Prabhupada would talk. Sometimes it was very light conversation. Always there was philosophy there. But he was just giving us everything because he gave himself. So we know every day Prabhupada would get his mail. So we got 2 letters amongst many others. One of the letters was from Madhvisa in Australia because we knew Prabhupada had been sick for some times. So he said, you please come to Australia and rest. We have nice place there in Perth, that nice place by the ocean. You come there and stay and you rest. And then he had another letter. This was 1973, maybe June, July, from Shyama Sundar. Shyama Sundar had been his secretary for almost 2 years, expert secretary. We all know Shyama Sundar. He wrote books, 3 editions we have of his books. Shyama Sundar wrote and said, we're having Rath Yatra, 3 carts going right down the main street from, I forget the name of the park, right to the statue of Nelson, Trafalgar Square, most famous part, central London. So Prabhupada told these devotees, his disciples, these big sannyasis, GBCs, he said, so I can go to Australia to rest. He said, or I can go to London for Rath Yatra festival. He said, so you all go? He said, and after lunch, he said, you come back and tell me what you decide, what you think is best. So they became very excited. The spiritual master gives you this responsibility. So they all became very happy. This is what we want, some service, direct service like that. So then after was Prabhupada's massage. That was everything was favorite service. Like we say, perfect, more perfect, most perfect. Massage was more perfect. There's even more. So I have sandalwood oil on the head, Mysore sandalwood oil, perfect. You could smell pure sandalwood oil. Now You're very fortunate if you can ever actually know what real sandalwood oil smells like. Always adulterated, huh? Alloyed, not unalloyed. Everything, Kali Yuga's alloyed, everything's mixed up. If you're lucky, you get something of the original. So, cool head, sandalwood oil, massage. Prabhupada said, you keep a cool head. Then I'm behind him, so I'm massaging his back. Many times he would talk to me when I'm behind him, massaging his back. He would converse. So he said to me, Srutakirti, he said, what is your opinion? Should I go to Australia to rest? Or should I go to London for Rath Yatra? And I knew. I didn't give my opinion. I already knew Prabhupada's opinion. I had been with him now for more than a year, traveling with him 24 hours a day. I was either next to him or just outside the door for 16 months. So he said, what is your opinion? So behind him, I never stop. You don't stop and start talking. No, you do your service. Don't ever give up your service. Your service is your life. Without that, you're no one. You're lost. Lost puppy. Huh? You're not a puppy wagging your tail and the tail's between the legs. You're lost if you're not doing your service to your guru. Well, I was a little smart. Prabhupada said, you'll see what he said. I said, well, Prabhupada, I said, you're going to go to London. I said, because there'll be thousands of people to preach to. I didn't see his face, but I knew Prabhupada had a little smile. He said, you have good understanding. Yeah. So then, massage, he bathed. I would lay all his clothes out on the bed, coping, 2 pieces coping, put his dhoti down, put his kurta down. I would button 2 buttons on the bottom because his head fit through. So that was 2 less buttons. He had the button. This is service. You concentrate. You be attentive. Anything you can do for your spiritual master and Krishna. That's what you do. Prabhupada said, first-class servant. He does without being asked. Not that he rings the bell and says, go do this, go do. No, you already know what you're supposed to do. Some of you're here 1 month, some 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. If you don't know what you're doing, you're not paying attention. Our whole life is pay attention. This is what they teach you. Your meditation is always there on Krishna. And not just sitting before the deity, standing before the deity, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. No. What Prabhupada say, his Acharya, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, not that you want to see Krishna, you want to do your service so Krishna sees you. You're doing so much service. We have such a short time. It's already 8:45. So many things are there. So many examples Prabhupada would give. Anyway, then Prabhupada had his lunch. Then he took his 15-minute nap. Because at nighttime, what did he sleep? So-called sleep. 2 hours, 3 hours, maximum. Then he's translating his books for us to read. Very wonderful. You distribute here in this temple millions of books. Why? So people will read them. So that's also your business, reading these books. This is the order of spiritual master. You read. All the acharyas, they've given us so much. So we read it. And then you get understanding from the mouth of the pure devotee. It means it's coming directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then he rang his bell. Call them. See, that he has to ring his bell for. That I can't assume. We should know what to do without being asked, but sometimes he also has to ask. So he rang the bell. All he had to say was call them. He didn't say, okay, now call those men because earlier in the day I told them that they should. No, he just said call them. I know what it meant because I was there earlier. Immediately I understand. So I went out to them and they're waiting. They can't wait to see Prabhupada again because he engaged them in some direct service. They were so excited. So I called them. They all come into the room. Like 7, 8, 9 of them. Big devotees, big servants of Prabhupada. They did so much, Prabhupada's disciples. We're all benefiting from what they've done. Huh? They've made it so easy for us. It wasn't easy then. It was very difficult. And we're sitting down, and then Prabhupada looked, and amongst them there was always one, huh? The head, the head person, you know. Every pack, there's always one who's the leader. So then Prabhupada said, so what have you concluded? And I'm waiting as well. This was our life. And the devotee said, Prabhupada, you should go to Australia to rest. Prabhupada looked, just shook his head. He said, you don't understand. He said, we're going to London to preach. I was a little nobody, a mutt. You know what a mutt is, huh? You know, you have purebred dogs. You know, this. Then you have a mutt, a mixture, all kinds. No breed, no breeding. Malecha, that was my breeding, Malecha breeding. But I knew. Why did I know? Just by the association, by understanding. Nothing but service. This is our business. And what is our service? Prabhupada says, preaching. One who understands Krishna, he preaches. If you don't have a desire to preach to everyone you meet, it means you haven't understood Krishna. You haven't understood this philosophy. Because our philosophy is to bring you to the point of preaching. Then you know, this Krishna, you become recognized by Krishna, by Radha Rasa Bahari. This is, they come, what do? They preach. Lord Ram, Lakshman, they're preaching how to be perfect grahasta, how to be perfect servant, how to be perfect sannyasi, how to be perfect. Prabhupada showed us all of these examples. His whole life was preaching, following. A lifetime in preparation. It shows, Prabhupada, as he said, there wasn't one time when I did not remember Krishna. This is pure devotee. So I see that in my senior godbrother, Sannyasi Maharaj, Gopal Krishna Maharaj. You can't stop him. The only thing that's going to stop you is when the heart stops beating. Then you're finished. Then you have all success. Every moment to serve your spiritual master and Krishna. So I see that. And I see the results of that in the temple room. Every morning when I come, so very inspirational, this temple. Maharaj said to us yesterday after lunch, my wife and I were sitting, he said, you can come here anytime you want. I was very happy to hear that. And he's always said that to me. He said that to me 20 years ago when I first came here practically. And I couldn't get a room in the guest house. I went to the guest house, tried to get a room. They said it's full. Then I asked devotee, I didn't know anyone at that time. It was 20 years ago, 2003. And then I'm looking for some leader. And I said, is Gopal Krishna Maharaj just here? Because I figured maybe if I see him, at least he'll recognize me. Maybe I can get a room. I just wanted a room for 2 hours before we boarded the plane. Take a shower, get a little rest, little prasadam. But no room was available. So then finally somebody directed me to temple president's office. I don't even remember who it might have been at that time. And down there, right, or just down here, below here. So I was walking by and I went by one door, and there was Gopal Krishna Maharaj. And the door was open and he saw me. He said, "Oh, Srutakirti, Prabhu." Told me to come in. He said, "Do you know who this is?" He said, "This is Srutakirti." He said, "He was Prabhupada's servant for years." He said, "Take care of him, give him anything he wants." He said, "Give him a room, give him prasadam." He said, "Have him give class." I was like, thank goodness. But this is us. We don't ask for anything. We try not to ask for anything, huh? But then sometimes devotee sees. So it's always been like that. And I have so much affection, so much praise for Maharaj, because all he's done is what he's been shown by his spiritual master. So this is the business of the Acharya. They teach you. We know in Prabhupada, he's our Acharya. We don't know for how many years. He said these books, 10,000 years. Early on, 1969, 1970, one disciple wrote, "It's Prabhupada, in the disciplic succession, there's gaps. Sometimes big, big gaps." Not that we have Srila Prabhupada, before him Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. It seems very one generation after another. But it's not like that all the time. Prabhupada says that's not important. He says when the Acharya comes, he picks up from the previous Acharya. He doesn't speak anything other than what he understands from the Acharya. And why? Because Krishna is right there in the heart. We know when Prabhupada said his books, he said, when I read the books, I'm amazed how I have written like this. He said, it is not me writing. It's Krishna. Sometimes I would record his lecture. Some places I had to record, especially in India. US, they all had recording equipment, microphones. Sometimes it was just the microphone from the Ur tape recorder. That was the microphone. No recording other than servant recording. Once it was in Mayapur. Prabhupada gave this class. All of Prabhupada, you listen to Prabhupada's classes. Amazing. You'll see him start, he'll weave, and you see him end, he's right back at the beginning of his class. Every word is perfect. So he rang his bell there in Mayapur. I'm sitting on the veranda, just outside his room. This is best place, just outside. Never too far. We don't want to be too far from the spiritual master. At least within the mind, with the intelligence, you should be right there. So he rang the bell. I went in, offered obeisances. He's sitting on his asana, on the floor, with his desk in front of him. You see those pictures in Mayapur. Prabhupada could be so relaxed. Sometimes he'd lay back on the cushion, his feet poking out. So I offered obeisances and sat up. He looked at me. He said, "Did you record class today?" I said, "Yes, Prabhupada." He said, "Play it." It was a very good class. So he was inspired by his class. We become inspired by our service. But he was inspired. Look in this class. How did I speak so much nice? This is what devotee thinks. It's not me. It's coming from Krishna. I have no qualifications. Like I said, what qualifications do I have? I was born in America. None of us had any qualification. Prabhupada gave us qualification if we follow. We follow the footsteps of the acharyas. This is our business. So I have a few moments. I actually copied something here so I could read about our Gopal Bhatta Goswami. I want to get this in, and then if we have time, we can have a few questions. So, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, he was the son of Venkata Bhatta. He was a Sri Vaishnava Brahmin. He appeared in Sri Rangam. Lord Chaitanya stayed there for 4 months in his home, and he converted all of them to Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Gopal Bhatta, he was just a little boy. He was just a young boy. But now imagine, Lord Chaitanya is living there for 4 months. Gopal Bhatta, he just absorbed. Lord Chaitanya gave him everything. Just like in Russia. Prabhupada spoke to one boy. He had him come. Shyama Sundar describes it in his book. Prabhupada trained him up in everything he could. But more than that, Prabhupada blessed him. He planted that seed in him. How many Russian devotees are there now in the world? How many tens of thousands? All from one seed planting by the pure devotee. He could have picked anyone. Krishna sent. But Prabhupada gave him special mercy as Krishna sent that devotee. And then under the most difficult circumstances, he preached. He was put in jail. He was tortured. He remained strong. This is the blessings of the acharyas, the blessings of the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. I say Prabhupada just walking in Red Square, chanting. So many living entities were hearing that chanting. Birds, bees, ants. You might have stepped on some of them. I said, that's why you're all here. Don't think it was just some magic. Somehow or other you received the mercy of the pure devotee. So this is how we think. No qualification. Just the mercy of the pure devotee. So that one devotee, Prabhupada gave him everything. He understood, I have to give this. He was there in Russia. It was impossible circumstances. But everything flourished by that one meeting. So this is the potency of pure devotion. Again, Prabhupada would quote his guru, just one moon. I don't need thousands, millions of stars. Just one person who's pure can do so much. So again, I see Maharaj, he does so much and he'll never stop. You can ask him all you want. Don't travel, please stay, do this. No, they don't hear any of that. My business, as long as this body is there, as long as I'm breathing and the heart is beating, I'm going to preach. There was another story like that one with Srila Prabhupada. Very same thing. It was in Delhi, right here. He got an invitation to Kurukshetra. And he had been ill. It was just when he was in Vrindavan, August, September 1974. He was so ill. He came to Delhi. He was going to rest. He go to Kurukshetra. We know it wasn't a very pleasant drive. So he asked practically the same group, you discuss amongst yourselves and tell me what I should do. It was the exact same thing. It was the same people, same devotees. And then he said the same thing to me. I'm massaging him. He said, Srutakirti, what should I do? What do you think? Should I go to Kurukshetra or should I rest? It was 2 years, less than 2 years. But he's asking the same thing. And of course, I said, Prabhupada, I didn't say what I thought. What difference does it make? What good are my thoughts? I have no qualification. I said, you're going to go to Kurukshetra. Again, Prabhupada said, you have good common sense. You said that to me a few times. You have common sense. We know Prabhupada said, use your common sense. And if you don't have it, ask someone that does. But even that requires common sense, to know you don't have common sense. Everyone thinks they know what they should do, huh? But not everyone does know what to do. So I said the same thing. Prabhupada, you're going to go to Kurukshetra. After lunch, he took nap. Call them. I called them. Prabhupada said, so what have you decided? What did they say? Take rest. Prabhupada just shook his head. How long do I have to show you what to do? He's showing us all the time what to do. That's what you do. What you see from the devotee, from the pure devotee, the one who's able to spread Krishna consciousness all around the world. You take that example. Not the one who's sitting home watching television, sitting on his phone, scrolling. No, that's not who you learn from. You learn from the acharyas. So same thing. So sometimes it takes us a long time to learn. That's okay. Slow but sure, huh? Russia took a long time. But gradual, explosion. Well, let me finish this about Gopal Bhatta Goswami. During his 4-month stay, Lord Chaitanya developed a very close friendship with Vyankata Bhatta, the father, which Krishnadas Kaviraj describes as Sakya Ras. They would converse with one another. They would laugh and joke. One day, in a humorous mood, Lord Chaitanya asked Venkata, why does your worshipful goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Devi, abandon the happiness of Vaikuntha and her service to Lord Narayan? Why does she go to Vrindavan and perform severe austerities to attain the association of my Lord Gopal, the cowherd boy of Braj? I can't understand these mysteries, said Vyankata. But you're the Supreme Personality himself. Surely you can enlighten me. Lord Chaitanya said, Lord Krishna has one unique quality. He attracts the hearts of everyone, and his personal conjugal love, Madhurya. Lord Narayan only has 60 transcendental qualities, but Krishna has 64. All of them are saturated with that unique quality of Madhurya. The Supreme Personality, Sri Krishna, attracts the mind of Lakshmi Devi, but Lord Narayan can never attract the minds of the Braj Gopis. In Braj Leela, Krishna, disguised as Lord Narayan, once appeared before the gopis who were searching for Krishna. Seeing Lord Narayan, the gopis said, "Oh Lord Narayan, pranams. Where did Krishna go? Did you see him?" By following the gopis who spontaneously love Krishna without awareness of his godhood, one can attain Krishna. One of the first things I learned from Srila Prabhupada was in the garden in Los Angeles, New Dwarka. I wasn't not even his servant yet. I went there for second Brahmin thread. But I got to go in the garden every day and read him Krishna book. And sometimes he would talk. There were just 4 or 5 of us, brahmacharis, in the garden with Prabhupada. So he sat up and said, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. He said, we're proud to be servants of Krishna. He said, everyone is serving their dogs, serving their wife, their family, serving their boss at work. We're all serving. He said, but we're serving the Supreme Personality. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Then he stopped and then he looked at us and he changed. He said, we don't care. Krishna may be God, maybe he's not God. We just love that beautiful boy. Oh, this is the mood this is the gopis. They don't want to hear such things, Krishna's God. You're crazy. He's just this little cute boy. We just love him. So this was Prabhupada's mood, just like that. And we're all sitting there thinking, we spent millions of lifetimes to learn Krishna's the Supreme Personality. I'm sitting there, I just learned that he is God, and now you're telling me we don't care. God or not God. This is Krishna consciousness. The Shrutis worship Krishna in the ecstasy of the gopis. Following in their footsteps, they received gopi bodies to join Krishna in the rasa dance. Lakshmi Devi wanted to enjoy Krishna, but retain her spiritual form as Lakshmi Devi. Without following the gopis' footsteps, no one can attain Krishna. Or even Lakshmi Devi, we cannot be attached to anything, any position other than servant. After receiving initiation from Sri Prabodhananda Saraswati, Gopal Bhatta came to Vrindavan, and he became dear friends of Rupa and Sanatana Goswami. He did bhajan in Vrindavan for 45 years, mostly at Radha Kund. On pilgrimage, he obtained 12 Shalagram Shilas, that later the Damodar Shila manifested himself as Radha Raman deity. Since 1542, Radha Ramanji has been worshipped with pure devotion following precise Shastric rituals. Lord Chaitanya ordered Gopal Bhatta to write a book to check the spread of pseudo-loving rasas and negligence to Vaidhi Bhakti. In collaboration with Sri Sanatana Goswami, he compiled the book Hari Bhakti Vilas, the authorized book explaining the ritual and devotional practices of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. He also wrote Satkriya Dipika and the outline for Sri Jiva Goswami's Sat Sandarbhas. He eternally serves Srimati Radharani as one of her Asta Manjaris, Guna Manjari. His samadhi is right there within Radha Ramanji temple, behind the appearance place of the deity. Gopal Bhatta initiated Gopinath Pujari Goswami, a lifelong brahmachari who served Radha Ramanji for his entire life. Gopal Bhatta initiated Srinivasacharya and many other stalwart Vaishnavas. Prabhupada said about Hari Bhakti Vilas, sometimes devotees read so many instructions. He said, if you can't follow all of them, he said, don't you go and pick, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. Just like Chaturmas. Chaturmas, we were in 1973, Prabhupada was in New Dwarka, Los Angeles, and he got letters. Because some devotees have common sense. It doesn't have to be big devotee, any devotee. Sometimes big devotees may not have so much common sense. So the big devotees, they were all growing their beards for Chaturmas. We see all previous Acharya beards. You'll see Ayendra with his beard during Chaturmas. Now everyone wants a beard, You can be very cool with your beard. Lead nice bearded Kirtans. Prabhupada did not like beards. He liked shaved. I didn't bring my razor with me. I haven't shaved for 3 days. When I was with Prabhupada, at least every other day we were shaving. Prabhupada shaved his face every day, every other day, by himself. He didn't sit down and get shaved. He did his shaving. Always kept himself shaved, clean shaven. Every 2 weeks, shave his head. And this is what he instructed us. Now we can have so many people say, well, 50 years have gone by. He said that then because of the hippies. No, Lord Chaitanya said that. You shave yourself. These are eternal principles. This is Prabhupada like to see. Brahmacharis, sannyasis, properly clothed, dhoti, kurta. Grahastas, they would say, Prabhupada, the Grahastas should wear white. He said any color they can wear. You'll see me, You see me come in any color. Kurta, blue color, orange. Doesn't matter, Grahasta, he said. But brahmacharis in the temple, very strict program. That's why I like to come here. I see this program being followed, being enacted by Gopal Krishna Maharaj. The dancing, everything. So you carry on like that. You do this in your life, you'll have all success at the end of your life by following very closely previous acharyas. Their business is always the same. What they say is always the same. That's what makes acharya. By example. You pick up that example. You too can be acharya. You can teach others. You can train others. You can inspire others. Otherwise, you keep your mouth shut. You have no help to anyone. You start speculating, that was then, this is now. When they said that to Prabhupada, he said, what's the difference? Birth, old age, disease, and death was there then, it's there now. When they said, oh, now you're in New York City, big skyscrapers. He said, what is the difference? There's no difference. Everyone trying to enjoy, everyone's living in little pigeonhole, Prabhupada called pigeonholes in these big buildings. But everyone is going through the same thing, birth, old age, disease, and death. Everything else is details, not significant. So it's already very late. Okay. So we have to stop here. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gopal Bhatta Goswami ki jai. Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा। सब भक्त लोग 6 गोस्वामियों के पास आ जाएं और आपके हाथ में जो पुष्पांजलि आएगी उसे 3 बार में डालना होगा। तो सब लोग मेरे पीछे बोलें, प्रद्युम्न प्रिया पुष्पांजलि। ओम अज्ञान तिमिरांधस्य ज्ञानांजन शलाकया चक्षुर उन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः। ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे नमः। ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती इति नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत ध्वंतहारिणे नमः गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भ रसाम्भोधे पादाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमः भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौरशक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुग वरायते गौराविर्भाव भूमेस्त्वं निर्दिष्टा सज्जन प्रियः वैष्णव सार्वभौमः श्रीजगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पितरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्व से नमः पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्ण भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते जयतां सूरता पंगोर मम मंद मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्भोज राधा मदन मोहना दिव्य वृंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमाधा श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थ श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविंद देव प्रेष्ठालीभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भी वंशीवटे तटस्थितः कर्षन् वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथः श्रियस्तु नः तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। अब 3 बार पुष्पांजलि डालेंगे। वंदे रूप सनातना रघुयुग श्रीजीव गोपाल का पुष्पांजलिं समर्पयामि। श्री षट गोस्वामी वृंद की सब लोग प्रणाम करें। वंदे रूप सनातना रघुयुग श्रीजीव गोपाल का पुष्पांजलिं समर्पयामि। श्री षट गोस्वामी वृंद की सब लोग प्रणाम करें। वंदे रूप सनातना रघुयुग श्रीजीव गोपाल का पुष्पांजलिं समर्पयामि। श्री षट गोस्वामी वृंद की सब लोग प्रणाम करें। आप लोगों से प्रार्थना है कि जहाँ जहाँ पुष्पांजलि गिरी है वहाँ से हट करके पुष्पांजलि समेटने में सहायता करें।
हरे कृष्ण। संसार दावा नललीड लोका त्राणाया कारुण्य घना घना त्वम्। प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वंदे गुरौ श्री चरणारविंदं। प्राप्तस्य कल्याण गुणार्णवस्य वंदे गुरौ श्री चरणारविंदं। महाप्रभु कीर्तन नित्य गीता वादित्र माध्यन मनसोरसेन। रोमांचकंपा श्रुतरंग भाजो वंदे गुरौ श्री चरणारविंदं। श्री विग्रहाराधन नित्य नाना श्रृंगार तन मंदिर मार्जनाधो। युक्तस्य भक्तास्तन्निञ्जतोऽपि वन्दे गुरौ श्री चरणारविन्दम्। चतुर्वेदा श्री भगवत प्रसाद स्वादन्न तृप्तान हरिभक्त संघान। कृत्वैव तृप्तिं भजता सदैव वन्दे गुरौ श्री चरणारविन्दम्। श्री राधिका माधव्यरपार माधुर्य लीला गुणरूप नाम नाम। प्रतीक्षणा स्वाधनलोलुपस्य वन्दे गुरौ श्री चरणारविन्दम्। निकुंजयूनो रतिकेली सिद्धे याजाली भीर योक्तिरपेक्षणीया तत्राति दाक्षात् अतिबल्लभस्य वन्दे गुरौ श्री चरणारविन्दाम् साक्षादरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यतेव साध्वी किन्तु प्रभोर्यः प्रियेव तस्य वन्दे गुरौ श्री चरणारविन्दाम् यस्य प्रसादात् भगवत् प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादान् न गति कुतोऽपि ध्यायाम्स्तु वंस्तस्य यस्य स्त्रीसन्ध्यम् वन्दे गुरौ श्री चरणारविन्दाम् 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 जय प्रभुपदा 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 श्रीला प्रभुपदा प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमः विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निरविशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Dhoni, Jai Dhoni.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajakacharya Asatara Satasi Simad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parvajakacharya Asatara Satasi Simad His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shlaharidas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Stigaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopanashai Makund Radha Kund Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai Gangamai Ki Jai Jamunamai Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami Turubhava Maha Mahotsava Ki Jai Samaveda Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Nitai Go Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Namaham Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaham. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda